Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 6 p.m. It's a little bit after 6 p.m. on a Tuesday. So welcome to Becoming an Actor. Hopefully we are working. We got this new trusty microphone. See if that works. Hopefully it is going well. We can get some people on here and you all can let me know how this is coming across. Hopefully it is picking up my voice okay. Again, I am testing things out here, so we're trying to get things going. I will have some new headphones soon, get new headphones to add to it so I can hear a little bit of what's going on. But welcome to Becoming an Actor. Call in or post a comment. I tried to get Wasim onto the show last week. That didn't end up working, so I've been working on that since then. So we're going to try and get that done at some point. Probably going to do it by just, we are going to video that and then play it back at the usual time. So we will pre-record that conversation between Wasim and I when I get him on there. So hopefully that should be soon. If anybody is listening, please let me know if the volume is good, if I need to change something, if everything is coming through. This is so annoying. I'm wearing my glasses today, and they're driving me insane already. So big mistake. Got to go back and wear my contacts for this. All right. Oh, and so last week, while trying to get Wasim onto the show, we were playing with how to invite people onto a Facebook Live event and having a lot of trouble figuring that out. So one of the things I was doing was trying to test it out. So I would go live and I was just testing it. And I was playing around with the controls and such. And while I was doing that, I was getting comments from people. Hey man, this doesn't look good. You're not really doing anything right now. What's going on? And yes, I understand that. It was not looking good. Like an idiot, today I Googled how to test Facebook Live without going live. That would have been fantastic to Google before I was doing that. So yes, I was just testing out the live system. Sorry for everyone that had to put up with seeing me sit there and just stare at the screen like a boomer and not say anything. But as I explained to somebody the other day, I am not a boomer. I was born 6 years after the boomer generation ended. I was born in 1970. That is not a boomer. You need to be born in 64 in order to be considered a boomer. Don't tell my kids. They'll be so disappointed. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today other than technology woes for myself? Well, one of the things that we are going to talk about is I got a call from a friend yesterday. I've worked with him before. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants to be listed on the podcast or not, but he called me and said, hey, I want to talk to you about something that's going on. And I said, yeah, sure, tell me, what's up? He said, well, I have heard from certain people that there are services being sold that are not quality services. And he said people are going to get themselves in trouble, people are going to get sued because they're not doing things the right way. They're offering acting lessons, or they're offering headshots, or they're offering facilities, or whatever it is that they're offering, and they're not accredited, or they're not SAG, or they're not this, or they're not that. And so he was kind of giving me the heads up on stuff. And I said, hey, you know what, man? I totally get you. I understand what you're saying. But at the same time, although it does suck, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that take advantage of people that are new to the industry. Number one, whether or not the services are any good, that's kind of subjective. That's tough to say, hey, I went and got a headshot done. Oh, I can't speak today. Went and got a headshot done today, and it wasn't great. I paid $400 for these headshots, and it turns out that they just were really terrible, and I want to sue the person because it was, the service was terrible. Okay, you're going to have to prove that they didn't do a good job or they didn't deliver the service that you felt that they should have delivered. That's kind of tough to prove at times, right? So it's subjective. He asked about the certifications at K75. Hey, man, I got no problem listening our certification. Number one, I told him, I said, you don't have to worry about it with us. First of all, I have run numerous companies. I currently own numerous companies. I own 4 or 5 different companies. So somebody wants to come after me, bring it on, man. I have no issues with that. But then I said, that's a good point, though. What are Kevin Rigo's certifications? His certifications are like longer than my arm. He's got basic rigging, basic COVID general, COVID grips, COVID hair and makeup, COVID on set production. He's got CTAF certification. I don't even know what that is. He's got FEMA active shooter. Don't mess with Kevin. He's got fire marshal crowd manager. He's got HAZWOPER 24. Sounds impressive. John Hopkins Coursera contact tracing certification. COVID SAG. NEBOSH HS boot camp. OSHA 30. Red Cross CPR. Rice University. I mean, he's got a list of certifications. Most of these I've never even heard of before, but all with top-notch organizations. So we did our research before opening up. It's not like I just reached out to the first guy and said, hey, you want to be a stunt trainer, or should we open up an academy? No, we did our research. We looked around. We made sure that we had somebody in Kevin, or that I had somebody in Kevin that is good at what he does. And he is the best. It's been a couple of weeks now that we've been training here, and I've been watching him work with people. He's amazing. If anybody is watching the broadcast right now that's worked with him, feel free to drop a line in the comment section. Let us know. But from what I can tell, everybody's been very pleased with him. He is very supportive. He's encouraging. All the people that are out here are so supportive and encouraging. Pong has been great. Emma's been great. Sean has been fantastic. Jess and her kids are fantastic. I mean, we've had a great group of people come out here, and everybody's always clapping and cheering. Zach and Chelsea, I mean, everybody is very supportive. It's been a lot of fun, but it's a very safe environment. So, if you're getting into this industry, I get what my friend was saying here. You have to be careful. In every industry, there are always going to be shysters out there. There's always going to be crooks. There's always going to be people that are trying to get their hooks into you, to get something for free. I get that. It happens. I understand it. My best advice to you is, if you are trying to hire an acting coach, or you're looking for someone to give you headshots, or you're looking for anyone where you're going to be handing over money to them, or even if they're not charging you for the service, they just say, hey, come on out and work with me for free. I'm happy to work with you. Yes, absolutely. Check to see if they have, certifications or accreditation. But more importantly, I would say, and this is what I'm always telling people, what I'm always stressing, get on set and then talk to other people. Because in Florida, there are tons of people that are willing to help each other out, and that they will work with you, and they'll tell you, this is who you should be talking to. Oh, if you want to get headshots done, go to so-and-so. They're fantastic. If you want to get an acting lesson done, this particular coach is great. They've been doing it for years. They've got lots of people that will say that they're fantastic. Reach out to so-and-so who's a great actor. Talk to them. They'll tell you how much they learned while working with this acting coach. So reach out to people on set. If you get on set, that's when you can ask people, because that's when you're around the people who are really pushing, that are making a difference, that are trying to get on set, and the people that know how to get it done, right? If they didn't know how to get it done, they wouldn't be on set, right? Most of the people, every now and then, you're going to get someone on set that has no clue what they're doing. I wonder how they ever ended up there in the first place. Most of the time, though, that is not the case. Most of the time, you're going to have a lot of good people on set, and they're going to be willing to share with you. So talk to them, okay? Ask for referrals. Don't go with the first person that you meet. Don't go with your best friend who says they're going to get your headshots done for you. Don't ask your best friend, hey, which is the best headshot to use? Ask someone that's been in the business a long time, because they're going to give you better advice than your friend. Maybe they're in the industry, and maybe you can ask them, like, get a second opinion, get a third opinion, get a fourth opinion. It's not really that tough. Everyone's always willing to give their opinion. Just ask, right? But as far as, trusting people, like this friend of mine was saying, you have to be careful. Some people are doing things that they don't know how to do it the right way. I understand that. You have to be careful. But at the same time, you have to take a leap, and you have to get out there, and you have to hope it works at some point, right? And you know what? You're going to get burned. At some point, you will get burned. That's business, right? I went out when I first got into this industry, and I got into it, and sorry, I'm getting texts like crazy all of a sudden. As soon as I start my broadcast, then I get 15 texts. So as soon as I got into the business, pretty soon after I got in, within a year of getting into the business, I had decided that I was going to do my own full-length feature film. So I jumped into it. I'm a business owner. I've owned lots of businesses in the past, some more successful than others. And so my thought was, making a movie is running a business. That's all it is. So I thought, why not do it? It'll be the best way for me to get out there, to meet people in the industry. And I did. I made a lot of great contacts, right? But I put myself out there. I really did, because when I first started, I had no idea how to get talent. I had no idea how to find a production company. I had no idea how to get the film done. I had written the film. I had a script, and that was about it. Otherwise, I had a few contacts in the industry, and I was going to reach out to them. And I did. I reached out to Carly Lowland. I was very lucky that she was one of the people I reached out to, because honestly, she could have very easily screwed me. She could have taken my money and said, yeah, here's so-and-so, work with them, whatever, and, good luck. And that might have been it for me. I might have just said, you know what, that didn't work, I'm done, I give up, and just move on and not go forward with it. Fortunately, I made a very good choice with Carly. She was fantastic to work with. She helped me out. She got me my first Hollywood people. Everything snowballed from there. Some of my connections, not as good. And I won't even say not as good. Some of my connections just didn't work out. Okay? They could have worked out better. For whatever reason, they didn't move forward. It's business. It's not the end of the world. You need to move forward. You have to meet these challenges. When you get into acting, acting is a very difficult business. A lot of businesses don't have a specific manual about this is the way you do it and this is the only way to do it. A lot of businesses, the ones that are successful are the entrepreneurs who just say, I'm doing it. I'm gonna jump into it, both feet. I'm gonna completely commit and plow forward no matter what happens, and I'm gonna make it happen. Those are the ones that tend to be successful. Acting, though, is even more than any of the other businesses I've been in. There is no rhyme or reason to how to do it. There is no specific way how to get jobs. There's no specific way as to which jobs you should go for. Should you go for commercials? Should you go for film? Should you go for TV? Should you go to crew instead? There is no rhyme or reason. So you just have to push forward and do the best thing, do the best you can. It is trial and error. Everything in this industry is trial and error. Now, I'm running into the same thing with distribution. Trial and error, right? I'm putting the film into theaters. I have to call and email people every day. If you are trying to do this, if you feel like, hey, I'm smashing my head against the wall, I'm not getting any kind of response from anyone, you are not alone. You are not the only person out there. Do not feel like you are being unsuccessful. I call the theaters every day. I am emailing them all the time. I am calling reporters all the time. I'm emailing them all the time. And when I get in touch with them, they're usually very apologetic. I'm so sorry, I haven't gotten back to you yet. I'm busy. I spoke with one today. She said, oh, I'm sorry, we have a film festival going on all this week, so I can't get back to you. I mean, this was one that I thought, oh my God, I've got this one. I just put it on the back burner because she said she was sending me the contract. Well, she didn't tell me that she had a film festival the following week. So that was on a Thursday. I didn't hear from her Friday. Monday, I'm like, where are you at? Tuesday, I call. Wednesday, I can't reach her. Finally, this week, I get in touch with her, and she says, oh, we've had a film festival all last week going into this week. Why she wouldn't tell me about that? I'm sure she has a million things going on. So there's always a reason why they're not calling you back. Even the ones who do call you back, though, it's not done once you get a call back from a theater who says, yeah, we want to work with you. Okay, who sells the tickets? Am I selling the tickets or are you selling them? Am I going through Eventbrite or are you going to sell them at your box office? Oh, we'll sell them at the box office. Okay, how do I know how many tickets are being sold? Can I give away tickets for free to cast and crew if you're selling them through the box office? What time will the movies be at? Can we do a step and repeat? Can we host a Q&A afterwards? All of these questions come up once you start talking with the theater. So it's not like you get in touch with the theater, they say, yes, we'd like to show your movie, pay us $1,000 to put it in there for a night or 2 nights or whatever, and you're done. It's not that easy. There's a lot more to it once you actually get through this. So it all takes a lot of time and energy. That is part of the acting world. So right now, we have gotten one TV segment on our film so far, The Uncivil War, America Divided, from ABC Action News. Thank you so much to Michael Paluska for that. We have one segment on Spectrum News about K-75 Stunt Academy. Thanks to Calvin McClure and Josh Rojas for that. And now we'll have one newspaper article on the Academy. If you're at the Academy tomorrow, there's going to be a photographer here taking pictures of everyone that's partaking in class from the St. Pete Times. Thanks to Paul Guzzo for that. But that has been me nonstop calling and reaching out to newspapers and begging people to please do some sort of an article on our new studio, to do an article on our film that we have coming out. It is painstaking. You have to ask over and over and over and over again, because guess what? They don't care about the fact that I'm so excited I've got a movie coming out, or I'm so excited I have a stunt academy. That's not important to them. What's important to them, and I totally get this, what's important to them is what's going to sell newspapers for them, what's going to get people to watch their news segment. And me opening up a studio is very exciting to me, but it might not be anything to anybody else out there. So they need a good angle. You have to come up with a good angle. Now, a lot of times if you can get them on the phone, you say, hey, I've got this new stunt academy, they'll come up with the angle for you. That's what happens with everyone that I've spoken with so far, is they come up with the angle. But still, you got to get in front of them, and you got to give them good information for them to say, oh, you know, what's a great angle to come out of that? So you have to pound the pavement constantly in order to get to that position. So Whew, I'm already exhausted just talking about all that. Let's get to set terminology. Give me 1 second. Speaking of advertising, I'm going to do some advertising right here for Chipotle. There you go, Chipotle. Yummy. Okay, so let's get to our set terminology. I always like to do set terminology every week just because there's a lot of terms, and they're usually terms that I've heard on set that either I'm like, oh, you know what? That is a good one, or that's one that I know what it means, but maybe not everyone knows this one, or I just think sound cool, because I want you guys to know you're going to get caught off guard by some of this terminology because the industry is full of jargon. So let's go through a few things here. Company move. This means you're done at a location and you are moving on. Pretty simple one, right? This is a good one though. Day for night. Kylie Nicole, who actually one of the people that was texting me, Kylie, in the middle of my podcast, and she knows every Tuesday at 6, but she's traveling, so I'm willing to forgive. She was the first one that introduced me to this term, day for night, and I felt silly for not knowing it. And again, why? Why should I feel silly for not knowing terminology? It's difficult to know all the terms in this industry. If you're new, you shouldn't have to know it all, but it's just a natural reaction, right? So this is using special camera lenses, lighting, film stock to create a night look when shooting during the day. Remember how important time is on a set. Time is everything. That is, when you are first AD or when you're an executive producer and all your money is sitting in this film and you're freaking out because the money is just churning and churning and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe how many dollars are disappearing. It's time is so important. And when you're trying to shoot and you're like, well, we've got to shoot at night, but it's during the daytime, you have to make it look like it's nighttime. And the reason for this too is because, okay, let's say you have an amazing actor, a big name coming on set, and they can only be there from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And you just got 2 scenes to shoot, and you've got to get them done. Well, okay, you can't wait until nighttime. They're going to be gone. You need to shoot them at that time, right? So you have to shoot day for night, that they call it. Yep, there was something else. And I'm sorry, Kylie threw me off. She said, it's because of noise. It's because of noise. I don't know what it's because of noise means. Oh, she says, it's easy to make dark, but hard to take the night out. Hey, Amanda, if that makes sense in editing. I wish you weren't so afraid to call, Kylie, because you could call and tell me. Although I'd have to figure out how to send you a link and figure out how to get you onto this. But so it's easy to make dark, hard to take the night out. Okay. Noise is like blur fuzzy. Okay. Noise is like blur fuzzy. Just remember that, people. I don't know. I'm sorry, Kylie, I don't know what that means. All right. MOS. So this is funny. I know what MOS means, and somebody actually asked me on set when we yelled, it's MOS, don't worry about it. But I never knew what it stood for. Mute on screen. That makes sense. Mute on screen. Because MOS means that there's no audio being captured in the scene. So when you're shooting MOS, you don't have to be quiet on set because there is no audio. There doesn't have to be an audio person there with a boom mic or lavs or anything like that because there's no audio being captured, right? You're getting B-roll or something like that. Now, does that mean that you can scream and yell on set because it's MOS? Technically, sure you can. But number one, let's pretend that the scene is very tense, right? Because some actors may still require it to be quiet. It's like going to a golf tournament and screaming while the person's putting. Can you do it? Sure. Are you going to get beaten by a couple of people? Probably, if they like the golfer that just missed the shot because you were screaming while he was in his backswing. So imagine, there's this actor on set and they're getting ready to do this really tense scene, and they say, this is MOS. We're just getting reaction, or we're getting them doing their part, but we're going to put in the dialogue later, or it's going to be a voiceover or something. But the actor still needs to be in the scene, right? If they're talking about, something that is life or death or something, and they're focused, and then you're over here and you're screaming about where you're going to go get drinks after they call wrap, you're not getting invited back. That's going to be your last set, at least with that director, probably with that actor. You're not going to be a very popular person on set. No one's going to be going to get drinks with you because they're going to be getting away from you as quickly as possible. Now, if everybody's walking around and there's lots of noise because it's MOS and everyone, you can tell, then okay, you're probably fine. Use common sense here, right? This is one of those times when you use common sense and say, does it make a lot of sense for me to make a lot of noise right now while that actor is trying to focus? And the answer is probably no. And Kylie keeps texting me things. Why are you texting me things, Kylie? You're sending me messages on my Facebook Live, and now you're also texting me. I can't concentrate. All right, unless it's something about this recording. But all right, I'll find out afterwards. Room tone. So this is my last term for the day. Room tone. I hate this one. I got to tell you. This is recording the dead air, which actually could be another term, dead air. Recording the dead air, meaning no cast or crew noise, because you want to match the sound ambience. You want to match the noise without anyone talking in the room. So if we were to call room tone, everyone would then have to sit quietly. This is room tone. It's kind of boring, I know, especially on radio. Hopefully you're looking at my face. Well, that wouldn't be very entertaining either. So we'll end room tone. Usually it takes about a minute. The reason I absolutely hate it is because as soon as they call room tone, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I am just itching to talk, to sneeze, to yell for some reason, to drop something. I'm usually holding something, and that's the exact moment that all of a sudden I want to drop it. That can't just be me. Room tone is just annoying, and it's just one of those things. As soon as they call for room tone, everyone has to be completely quiet, and that helps them to get the ambient noises. Maybe there's a low hum of an air conditioner. Maybe there's a street nearby with traffic that goes by, and so you have to get used to those noises, so then when you're trying to pick up the actor versus the traffic, it's something that they can do in post-production. So if someone calls room tone, just know you do not want to be talking at that time. Now Kylie is telling me world tone. I don't know what world tone is. I've always heard room tone. World tone, I guess that's another way of saying it. I've never heard world tone before, but okay. Kylie is throwing me with all sorts of stuff today. You're killing me today, Kylie. I'm going to make you call in one time. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make Kylie come in and guest lecture, and then while she's here, I'm just going to text her and throw stuff at her from off screen the entire time and try and mess her up and throw her off her game. It'll be fun for me. Oh, quit it. I'm just messing with you. You're sorry. Don't be a goofball. I love it. I wish more people were piping in with comments. So, okay. And this is, so I'm going to give some, I love giving you a hard time, Kylie. All right. So this is some great set advice. That comes courtesy of one of my business partners. Kevin was talking about this last night at rehearsal practice at the academy. And one of the things he was talking about was, if you walk onto set and a stunt coordinator says, can you do a front roll? What do? You say yes, and then you do a front roll. You don't do a front roll and then jump into a shoulder roll. You don't do a front roll and then jump up and do a spinning roundhouse kick. If someone asks you to do something on set, do what they ask you to do. Don't do more, don't do less. Do what they have asked you to do. There is a reason that they've asked you to do that particular item. Whatever it is, that task, that item, whatever, they have asked you to do a front roll, do a front roll. The same goes for anything else on set. If a director says, hey, will you go get that bottle of water off set? That's not supposed to be there. Don't grab 3 other things and say, hey, you want this too? You grab the bottle of water. If you think something else needs to be grabbed, then maybe you turn around and say, hey, what about these other items? No, no, no. I didn't ask you to get those other items. I want that bottle of water. Everything else is supposed to stay on set, right where it is. Okay, great. You grab the bottle of water and you run off set. You do only what they ask you to do. Trying to give them more to show off, or for whatever reason you think you're being helpful, if someone says, hey, grab that cord, first of all, you should say, well, if that's not your department, hey, I'm not a grip, I really shouldn't be holding that. Or I'm not wardrobe, I shouldn't be picking up that shirt or those shoes. Are you sure you want me to do something like this? Do you have the department head's permission to be telling me to do this? Oh, yeah. I've already spoken with them. And then I'd still be nervous about doing it, because unless I heard it directly from that department head, I would be nervous about doing something that does not come directly for them. So I was listening to him talk about that, and I thought, you know what? That is great advice for pretty much anything that you do on set. If someone asks you to do something and they have the authority to ask you to do it, do what they ask you to do, only do what they ask you to do, and completely do it. If they say, pick up that bottle of water and put it over here, don't pick it up and put it someplace else. Put it where they tell you to. There's probably a good reason that they're doing that. Okay, that's basically the show for tonight, but did want to say, this is huge news. I love talking about this because if you had an amazing, unbelievable star like Musetta Vander coming up to you, oh, my God. Chris McKechnie said that he always did what I asked you. You did not. There were so many times he put a little laughing face next to it. Yeah, because you didn't always do what I said. Chris always did what Chris wanted to do. I was paying for the darn thing, and I wonder whose movie that was. I think it was Chris's. Maybe Andy's. I don't know. Yeah, smiling face. You people. Anyway, if you knew that Musetta Vander was coming to your city to be at your premiere, I know you'd be talking about it. I am super proud. I talked with Musetta today. She said that she was getting her accommodations, setting her flight today, and that she is coming for the premiere. Boom, right there. Does not get much better than that. We have Musetta Vander is going to be here May 28th at the AMC Sundial. I am extremely proud of that. Thank you. Going back to the beginning of the broadcast, thanks to Carly Lowland. She is the one who led to that, and Chris had nothing to do with it. He was, I don't even know if he was really involved in the film at all. Anyway, guys, thank you all for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it, as always. I think we're still going to be next Tuesday, just like we always are, Tuesday at 6 p.m. Hopefully, I'm going to have my pre-recorded episode with Wasim. We'll see if that happens. Otherwise, I'll be back on air as usual. In the meantime, don't forget, tomorrow we're going to have the newspaper out here taking pictures. So if you want to be in the papers, come on out tomorrow night, 6 to 9 p.m. Let's do some stunts. In the meantime, get on set. See you guys.